session to order, and please, can we have the roll call?
Sure. Commissioner Gauthier. Here. Commissioner Nicolai. Here. Commissioner Blair. Here. Commissioner Petrie.
Here.
Commissioner Mitchell. Here. Commissioner Bellows.
Here.
Chair Boehner.
Here.
Everyone's here.
Okay. The purpose of this work session is to hold a general discussion on the new home project proposal. Members of the public are welcome to attend either in person or remotely. However, no public comments will be accepted at this meeting, and no official action will be taken during this session. I wanted to make sure it was very clear to the general public that this was a workshop. So, okay, well, it's who's going to start for New Hope?
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
Yeah, I could just give a real brief thing to what you guys can expect. So, for those of you that weren't here, I think most of you were here for the workshop that we did in the town center. Maybe you weren't, Commissioner Mitchell. Yeah. So what we did last year was that this work session served as purely informational on kind of a high level of what the applicant is proposing. So this is an opportunity for you to consider what they're proposing, kind of go over the material, but also get an idea of what's in their giant application package, which is contained in those two binders. So it's a lot of information to sift through. And they're going to give you an idea of where to look if you do have questions while you're doing your review. And then at the meeting today, if you have questions, feel free to pose them to the applicant, but they will not be able to answer those questions. Those questions will be answered at the hearing in 2 weeks. Does anyone have any questions about kind of what the format is for today or what the purpose of this is?
You're allowed to answer.
No, I'm not answering any questions either, except for that one.
So will just be a presentation, there won't be any back and forth?
No, there will be back, but no forth. Yeah, you can ask questions, but for them to like really think about your questions, and then in 2 weeks, then they'll have like more thorough answers for you, but they can't really answer questions right now.
Commissioner, I posed a number of questions. I said, at the hearing, I'm going to ask you 1, 2, 3, 4, and they had to bring an additional person to the hearing so that I could ask my question, and they were prepared then to answer the question, and they were able to do the homework.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't get information on something we're interested in tonight, then how do we get that information in order to be able to ask a question about it?
Well, you could ask a question. You could say, I'm going to ask a question about whatever.
Or in the event that, say, tomorrow morning you're having coffee and you're like, oh, I should have asked that last night, you can reach out to me and I can relay your message and then try to get you some information.
But we are not getting information that needs to be at the public hearing tonight. This is a background meeting.
And that being said, go ahead. You have Maureen Jackson.
Well, yes, thank you. My name is Maureen Jackson, and I'm an associate project manager with PCD. Tonight we have a handout for you that I was just going to, if you want to use for notes. We also have a copy that Ronnie can show to those at home.
Do you have that in the copy? Didn't make it to me.
That's
Oh, that's what this is. I'm sorry.
Someone looks like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we are very grateful for this opportunity to provide a quick review of the materials submitted for the proposed Charling Woods project. As mentioned, there's a lot of materials here, 2 binders, so let's quickly go through what those materials are. So the first page, for your reference, we have listed the applications and the applicable code sections required for the proposed development, and an appendix of the supporting material included in the submittal. So for this project, we will be asking for approval of a development plan review. The Kingston Terrace District District Goal 5 Safe Harbor Review, an Upland Wildlife Habitat Conservation Area Review, and a preliminary subdivision. There are several exhibits provided in the application, so again, we hope that tonight's introduction will help you become more familiar with the materials. And, yes. So also to further assist you in your review, we did provide Max with a supplemental or a submittal checklist that directs you to the location of the materials required. On the next page, you can see here that the site of the proposed Charlene Woods development, where it's located south of Beef Bend and east of Elsner Road. It's also east of the town center development that was approved last year. The development is designed to easily connect with the town center neighborhood on the other side of Elsner. The bottom image illustrates how the site is located within two of the Kingston Terrace District neighborhood zones. You can see here how the Kingston Terrace Master Plan locates Beef Bend neighborhood north of that east-west collector and locates the central neighborhood south of the road. So the Beef Bend neighborhood has a higher minimum net density of 18 units per net acre, while the central neighborhood zone has a minimum net density of 10 units per net acre. So both the narrative and then sheet 3 of the preliminary plan set, which is provided as Exhibit C, it demonstrates how the development complies with the density requirements of each of the zones. Proposal does not include that tax lot 100, that L parcel that's near, that abuts Beef Bend Road to the north. So that parcel is currently developed with a single-family home. And this better illustrates the potential redevelopment of that tax lot. In the application, we have included an exhibit that shows a concept plan of future street extensions and also provides a net density calculation. And that sheet number is 3.1 in Exhibit C.
Could you tell me where you're at on the handout I'm lost?
Oh, sorry, page 3.
Is that the,
Pictures to look
that little
right
space
now,
there?
yeah, sorry.
So you're not reading?
That's the- Is that the, someone's farm?
The owner of that farm is the same family as the owner of who sold the rest of the farm for the development.
Okay, all right.
Are they gonna hang on to it for a while longer?
I can't say.
I'm sorry, that actually isn't the same
Oh, it's not? Ben Farmer.
property out to the family that owns the property on both.
Okay, great.
Thanks for the clarification. And then, just, so she's referencing, when she says sheet 3.1 or whatever, she's referencing items within the packet application. So it's not in this yet.
I can slow down or repeat anything, any references if you'd like, sheet numbers.
No, I was just trying to follow this.
Oh,
And you're not, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So so the density that we're looking at in this new area is 18 residents per square acre, and the Main Street, it was 10, is that correct?
Town center, I believe it was, the town center neighborhood zone was 22 units per net acre.
Okay.
And then the central,
The Beef Bend neighborhood has a higher net density. It has 18 units per net acre, and then south of the east-west collector, it has 10, yes.
Okay.
On page 4, we do have the number of housing units that we're proposing. So there is a range of home styles. The locations of the homes are illustrated on the concept plan, which is sheet 2 in Exhibit C. And then renderings of the homes, the home types and architectural styles, along with the floor plans, are provided in Exhibit D, and those were prepared by the project architect, Milbrandt. And then for your reference sheet, the first sheet in Exhibit D, there's a matrix that shows how each home style complies with the applicable design standards. So we hope that helps you out. We've also provided typical lot plans, which are sheets 2.1 and then 2.11, that demonstrate how the housing product complies with the dimensional standards such as the setbacks. And we've also included the cottage planting and site plan, which is sheet 2.6 in the package, which illustrates how pedestrian access is provided to each of the cottage-style homes, which is also shown here on this page, the bottom left-hand corner.
I'm going to pose a question at the hearing and about the housing. Is it going to be identical to the housing in town center, or is there going to be some more variety? So I will be posing that question.
And I will be asking if we have any zero lot line spaces, so that we have a side yard side. Other questions or?
Yeah. My question concerned, what I'm going to be curious about, is that the cottage-style homes appear to be below street grade. And are we having any concerns, or how? I know there's a lot of information in here about mitigating water. How is that? How are you addressing that?
I'll follow up on that. Yes, there's a number of semi-hidden sinkholes out there, and you might want to have your guys take a look. We've had a couple happen in East Bend Road, in the road itself, but there's more of them.
Sheet 5 of the handout, we pulled out a couple of the plans just to show you here how we are illustrating the Goal 5 Safe Harbor compliance, and then the HCA, or the Upland Wildlife Habitat Conservation Area review. So because the site includes locally significant wetlands and the mapped HCA area, the development requires both that Goal 5 and the Upland Wildlife Habitat and HCA reviews. So there is in the package a wetland delineation, which is approved by DSL, and that's Exhibit K, which identifies the location. There's 6 wetlands on the property and 4 waterways. So 4 of the wetlands were identified as significant in the city's local wetlands inventory, which was adopted last January. Those wetlands that were identified as significant are circled. They're in the bottom right-hand corner, or the southeastern corner of the site. our proposed development will have no impact to those significant wetlands. And then 2 of the 6 delineated wetlands are proposed to be filled, and mitigation for the fill of the wetland is proposed by purchase of the mitigation bank credit. And additional information on the mitigation for the vegetated, for the wetlands and impacts to the vegetated wetland buffers are provided in the Clean Water Services Service Provider Letter, which is located in Exhibit M. So in that Exhibit M, you have the impacts, the proposed impacts, and the mitigation plan for those impacts. We also have an arborist report, which is in Exhibit J, and the arborist report includes an inventory of the 310 trees on the site and identifies the species, size, and condition of each of those trees, and including the 78 trees proposed to be removed. So recommendations to protect the trees being retained are provided in that arborist report. And we do have HCA mapping, tree preservation, and the locally significant wetland exhibits. They're provided as sheets 12 through 12.7, so there's quite a few exhibits in Exhibit C. These exhibits illustrate the mapped area of the HCA and the wetlands and the proposed mitigation. So development in that HCA area will be mitigated for with planting of almost 6,500 trees and 30,000 shrubs, and those planting plans are provided as sheets L1 through L3. So again, there's several exhibits that illustrate in detail the planting, the mitigation planting. So further details on how the design and construction of the development is proposed to minimize impacts to the natural resources is provided with a construction management plan and a supporting memo, which is in Exhibit G and H, so more materials. And we have, in the narrative itself, we have responses to mitigation through construction mitigation. The preliminary grading plans are also very detailed. Those are sheets 8 through 8.6, which illustrate the limits of the development.
Sheets again?
So the grading plans are sheets 8 through 8.6. And the grading design is supported with the analysis provided by the geotechnical engineer, which report is found in Exhibit I.
I have a comment.
Mm-hmm.
What you're reading from there would be very helpful to have for reference. Would we be able to get a copy of that?
Yes, I can certainly, I have some scribbles over it, but I can give it to Matt.
That would be
Yeah, I
helpful.
can send it to Matt.
Trying to write it all down as you go through.
Yeah,
That would be very
yeah.
helpful.
Couple questions
Sure.
I'll have on the wetland riparian type stuff. And usually I've found with you guys' application, it's just because I couldn't find it in my first look.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the upland class A and B stuff, it's a type 2. The code says development's approved by the city manager. I'll just be curious what criteria that gets approved, is used to approve that. And in the riparian areas, there's development within some riparian areas, and I'm sure there's approval on how that works, but I just, just please discuss the development within the riparian area.
You might want to look on sheet 2 here, the applications, the list of applications. I have referenced the code section, the applicable code section. Like
Sheet 2?
Yeah, sheet 2 of the handout here.
Oh, okay. I've got your thing up here, so.
I've made sure to identify the code sections that are applicable to both the Goal 5 and the HCA, which that section of
Are
the
you talking
code,
about this?
yes, the top. So the Kingston Terrace Goal 5, the code section is the 16.114080, and then the HCA is that very next section, .090. And that code section includes the requirements for the application and the criteria.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question that I'll be asking. Concerns the east-west corridor crossing the wetlands. I'd like to know what sort of a crossing that will be, whether it will be a culvert, a bridge. So I'll be looking in, hopefully getting an answer as to what that will be.
Okay.
If we want to move on to page 6 of the handout. We have some images of the plans submitted for the transportation infrastructure. So build out of the project includes improvements to the southern side of East End and then the east side of Elsner Road. It also includes a segment of the Kingston Terrace Boulevard, which is the east-west collector, that will be extended from a roundabout that's located on Elsner that will be constructed with the town center neighborhood. And the project does comply with the Kingston Terrace District Code by providing the sections of the neighborhood routes with intersections located to reflect the Kingston Terrace regulating plan. It's in that code section. We do have cross sections of the improvements to the existing streets and to the new streets and alleyways. And those are provided, they're sheets 10 through 10.4 in Exhibit C. We've also provided, is Exhibit F, a regional traffic exhibit, so that illustrates how the local residential narrow streets, the option B, are appropriate for the local streets because the project, those streets will serve less than 1,000 vehicle trips per day. And then to better visualize the nature of the roads, we do have renderings of the street frontages. There's a couple here on this page. Additional renderings are provided on sheets 2.1 through 2.5 in Exhibit C. And then, of course, we have the traffic impact analysis report, which is prepared by Kittleson, is provided as Exhibit E. And the report addresses both the city and Washington County requirements and concludes with identifying recommended traffic control measures, which have been integrated into the design of the project. And we will have both our civil and traffic engineers with us to answer any questions, including the design of the streets and the culverts.
I would have some questions about the traffic impact study and what the basis would be for your assumptions, so if someone that can answer some questions about that would be helpful.
Okay, in the next page of the handout, again, we have one, an illustration of one of our plans, the bicycle and pedestrian access way, and a couple different renderings or images. So again, the project has been designed to provide a multimodal access throughout the neighborhood. We do have color-coded exhibits illustrating both the pedestrian and bicycle circulation throughout the neighborhood. They're provided on sheets 10.5 and 10.6. And multi-use paths, mid-block access ways, and cycle tracks. They'll offer connectivity from the town center through the neighborhood, or across Elsner Road through the neighborhood, and also from Beef Bend to the open space in the southern portion of the site.
I noticed the lot that's not a part of this. I noticed there's streets coming up to it and dead ending. I'll be curious if that works with emergency vehicle turnaround, dead end, not having a wait to get in, get,
right,
you know.
yes, yeah, good question.
Right.
And on the next page of the handout, we have some renderings and illustrations of the natural open space areas and the stormwater treatment facility. So we do have detailed planting plans for both the open space and the stormwater facility. The plans, they detail the landscaping design and the amenities proposed in these areas. And the plans can be found, they're on sheets L2 through L2.05 in Exhibit C. We also have similar detailed plans, which is sheet 3 and L3.01 for the stormwater facility and the multi-use path. So renderings similar to what you see here at the bottom of the natural resource area with the stormwater management facility is provided on sheet 2.7. So you can better visualize the design concept.
So this is the stormwater facility?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be, when we get to stormwater, and this will be kind of a little bit more. Clean, as you're aware, I'm sure, Clean Water Services is preparing a report that is not finished yet, to, from the master plan, take actions to reduce runoff and heal erosion. And we'll have basically runoff from Bull Mountain has been coming down and eroding the feeders in the Tualatin. You have a major feeder into the Tualatin, but you don't have major development on Bull Mountain north of you. So that's, you're not. And regardless, until the report is done, you're not required to do anything that's in a report that doesn't exist yet. Go figure. So, what my question will be, And I bring this up because initially, all the concept was development will start on the west side and move east. But unrelated to you, we now have development coming from the west. Does have this impact, but is not addressing existing problems because there's no report yet. So a question that I'll be asking is, could you talk about when you're doing it, what, if anything, you're doing to anticipate or work with the spirit of the report that doesn't exist yet, that you're not required to do, but is still in the concept of the master plan type deal? I hope that made a little sense.
Yes,
Okay.
if it doesn't for me, yes, I think.
I see yes, I see nodding head.
Questions, comments, it definitely does,
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
yes. The next couple of pages of the handout are the, samples, or they're the utility plans that are included in Exhibit C and the stormwater management plan. And we just wanted to highlight how we thought about these plans with connectivity from Beef Bend and Elsner and the soon-to-be-built town center through the neighborhood and extending eastward for future development. And the proposed stormwater management facility, the sizing of the facility is supported by a water quality and detention analysis provided in Exhibit L. And then the preliminary stormwater management design, it does comply with both Clean Water Services and the Slopes 5 standards. Do you have any questions about the layout, the sizing of the facility, of the We also did receive a service provider letter from Tigard Water, as well as Valley Fire and Rescue. I do know that the service provider letter from TVF&R is provided as Exhibit N, and I believe the Tigard Water SPL was submitted as supplemental material. Copy of that after. And again, yes, there's a lot of materials, but we are looking forward to all your questions and having a conversation with you on the 22nd. And thank you. And I will have my notes for you. And
Okay. Would you mind going over this first page and explaining how many units and that sort of stuff? Is that possible for you to cover tonight? Or not?
I'll do it now. That seems pretty general information, yeah.
I can do that.
Anything on page 4?
That's just the site plan,
You know, this entire layout.
general.
What?
Can I mention
Sorry, I didn't realize you didn't have them.
right here on the email we have?
Pull that up in the exhibit. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to tell which ones are which. So like the teal ones are the cottage homes. These light blue are the row homes. The dark blue are the...
the cover sheet.
So, yeah, just to orient everyone, we have the cottage-style, small detached homes along the northern portion on both sides of that out parcel. so adjacent to Beef Bend Road. There are 30 homes, 30 of the cottage-style small homes. And along the western boundary of the site, in that light blue color, if you will, those are our row homes, the attached homes, and there's 30 of them. And they're oriented to offer easy pedestrian connectivity from inside or within the development to Elsner. And then the darker blue homes in the center, those are your rear-loaded detached homes, and there's 128 of them. And then it transitions to the larger detached homes along the edges, the southern boundary, that will abut the natural open space and the stormwater facility. And there are 35 of those homes. And those are the tan, sorry.
Single family, and then you just,
Oh, yeah.
the front loader.
I'm also looking for very small copies. I needed my words large.
Yeah. Picture's small.
And the left half of it was a phase 3 Elsner improvements for town center? So 3 years? Well, timeline-wise, maybe Pam can speak on that.
Okay, so then that roundabout on 161st, like, it's not gonna have any issues with it being a third of it on the, right-hand side and being built for this neighborhood?
Can I speak to that now?
Yeah, sure.
So the roundabout that's being built with the town center, there will be an easement on this particular property to construct the roundabout. Am I correct? Yes. With the town center.
So the land will be, actually, I need to know that a specific requirement that that easement will
Supposed to be right through there.
prior to anything occurring. I just want to, I think it'd be good to just mention that. Sorry, it's the land use lawyer coming out.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Maureen or anyone else?
Is this
Yeah.
the roundabout?
That is the roundabout. That's the roundabout on that sheet was, is the roundabout that is proposed in the town center. So, that page there.
Did I ask you how many square feet the approximate of these homes would be? Is that too specific? Okay.
Variety of housing types because of the two zones. This is just about 1,200 plus.
Okay.
And bath in the middle will be 2 bedroom, 2.5 baths, and they'll both have 2 car garages, and then the cottages will range from about 1,100 square feet to a little over 1,300 square feet. And then the next step up, which is the dark blue, the alley load with the garage in the back, and the front porch, and everything facade facing out. Those are roughly, just under about 1,400 square feet up to about almost 2,000 square feet. And then the front load with the garage in the front, those are roughly 2,500 plus square feet up to about 2,900 square feet. And that's right.
I know that I'm gonna look over your, plan for the cottage homes and getting around them. I am questioning a little bit, from a visitor to someone in a cottage home. Kind of how do I find them and how do I approach them and where do I park and just the logistics of the cottage home.
We are happy to
Talk about that.
Okay, I'm sure you had lots to talk about that.
And again,
Oh.
the floor plans for the homes are provided in Exhibit D.
Yeah.
I'll be curious what the approximate price numbers you're looking for, and more especially for the low end, you know, what's the low end price product on
Yes,
this?
I can tell you what they're selling for today.
So yeah, I mean, I
What we're
understand,
doing today, so
Yeah.
the market can go up, go down.
obviously.
The middle.
If I invest in it, it'll go down.
The middle townhome, plans are in the low 400s, like 420, and then the larger end product is in the low 5s, like 520s. And then the alley load are in the mid to high 5s. The cottages are in the upper 4s to low 5s. And then the, single-family front-load homes are in the, probably, I would say, upper high 6s to, probably low 8s, like 830. That's where we've
Cool,
seen
that's,
prices
yeah,
go.
that's all.
So huge, like 400s to
Gives me the rough range. That's all I was hoping for. Thank you.
And I think you had an architecture question, products that neighborhood, starting in products, and we'll carry that throughout, and we have more elevations than what would be deemed typical. So, and we have enhanced
My concern is not to have a Levittown.
have a what?
Levittown, every house looked exact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always know where the bathroom is.
I will turn it back over to Max and let you all discuss further.
Well, thank you very much. I think this is a really good format where people can think about questions that they might have and be better prepared and allow you to be prepared for those questions and have the appropriate people.
Thank you. Yeah.
I will also be asking, like, and I previously asked in the neighborhood meeting, which, thank you for the neighborhood meeting. That went super well. I see I attended it, and I just want to let you know, as far as attendees go, that was really my computer, because my wife helps with the CPO meeting. So when my name was on there, it was really this and the entire CPO meeting
Yeah.
attending
Oh, yeah.
your neighborhood meeting. So nicely done. Thank you. I asked the question there, and we'll ask in a couple weeks, does anything in this development, other than tying into the infrastructure that comes to the east side of the development, obviously, logistically or financial, lock in specific future road alignments to the east?
And it does not.
That's what you answered there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be asking it for the record
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, so.
Anybody have any questions that you want to get notice you're going to pose at the hearing?
I do have one, and I'm sure this is, I don't think we as a city have mandated anything like this, but has there been any conversation about any set aside for below market rate for affordable housing?
There has not.
There is not.
There has not. It's not required. I think based on the density and the home styles, it wouldn't be feasible. Certainly in the higher density, town center, it could be feasible, although it was not required there either.
Right, I know it's not required.
So it could be that, you know, based on when the attached product gets built and whatever the market condition is, that there could be an idea to offer that a below market rent,
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
but not below market housing.
No,
Yeah, not for sale.
no, but when you have the multi-unit, which is not part of this particular group, this project, but in that section, that would be a potential way to do it.
Potential.
Yeah.
It really has to do with feasibility, cost, and permit fees that would promote or prevent us from being able to do that.
Right.
Based on construction requirements and those things.
So it's not too soon to have a conversation about this kind of thing and start.
Looking at what parameters would be talking about that with Max and City and.
Yes.
And then teacher.
And I have a general question. Stairs have been difficult for me since I broke my foot. And are there any plans or possibility, or I know that you can't have ranch houses because it's taken up too much. Right now, the only single-story residences that we have is in rental in the town center. If you were to do more of this, is there a possibility of having what we call the Chicago flats, condos or something like that, where people can own their space, but it could be a one-floor space. Being a senior and having broken my foot, it became important to me suddenly.
Oh, no, I can imagine. We do have homes that do have bedrooms and full bathrooms on the main, although they're not considered primary. But I understand your concern about single-level living period, where you don't want steps inside to have to go up to a primary bedroom.
Yeah, and kids too, I mean, when you know.
Yeah, no, that's such a great observation. This particular development doesn't have that high of a density to do that. What we're finding on the cost to build a single story in our existing neighborhood, because you've got a larger foundation, a larger roof, obviously the coverage, the customers, the affordability factor there is just not there, because we designed several and we went out to bid with them, and we just can't do high rates, high purchase prices. The cost to build it, we would lose a lot of money to build it.
Really?
We've actually already lost money at River Terrace, changed the number of single. There weren't very many to begin with, but we did end up having to change. It would have been over $1,000 for us. It's just not affordable. So, but what you're saying is extremely important, and it's very important to us to be able to provide. At this point, there is still potential at Kingston Terrace Town Center to not build that all as for rent. There is a condo opportunity there that we are exploring. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it has to pencil out. There's a potential that could occur there. So. And in the current plan here, who does HOAs? Sometimes it's a developer. Developer is the declarant until a certain number of.
They have to set it up.
So we start off, the developer starts off by funding the homeowners association as folks are closing on their homes.
So will this be all under HOA?
Yes. And that's so that it's, well, I know they're not beloved, but it certainly protects the value of your home when you go to sell your home.
Yeah.
That the front yards are manicured, the exteriors are taken care of, you don't have unsavory, items. There's pluses and minuses.
No tires, broken down cars.
Yeah. Homes are to sell if the curb appeal on your, neighboring properties is not appealing, so.
Yeah.
But then, yes, you kind of have to be a rule follower, and I live in an HOA, and I don't always love, put your trash can in 5 minutes after your trash is hauled away, but those are some of the things you have to comply with.
When I was on the Tiger Council, we did a project it ended up being a lot bigger than originally focused, but specifically, there were some credits that were given to the developer to build units at 30% of median income. Obviously, that's probably not really feasible with home ownership except for Habitat for Humanity, but it sure would be nice if there'd be a way to maybe get one or two kind of, one or two units kind of thing.
The working class, right, so teachers and civil servants and things like that, but they're actually in Northern California, and there's quite a number of opportunities there, believe it or not, that have happened, and it's nice to see, but you guys have to kind of write that into the code as an opportunity, going forward. And I think more and more cities are doing that. I think Hillsboro's working on a plan right now too, so.
I'm not a fan of recreating the wheel.
Yeah. But I mean, affordability is.
Yeah, if somebody comes up with, yeah.
Yeah. Good observation.
And a lot of us, particularly seniors, have issues, accessibility issues. No, one of those.
Affordable homes that are being constructed, they're all attached apartment homes, right by Mountain House at high school, if you're not aware.
Yeah.
I think almost 100%, not mistaken, and then across from the high school, there's also, a developer that is finished.
So does anyone else, any other pertinent questions about this app? Of this meeting?
I think, unless I hear from somebody, I think we're done.
Okay, and then I just want to reiterate that if you do have questions after today, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try to get you any materials that you might request. Also, Gary or anyone else, I think I have another couple hard copies if anyone would like to have some binders. Like, I have 2 hard copies on hand that I could hand out of the big packet, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was gonna be my question. Where do we look that up? Where do we find it?
Before you leave, I'll give you both the
I
rest.
cannot manipulate the computer anymore, so I have to have, and he is very generous and prints out a copy for me. I had a very exciting, by the way, we're adjourned.
All right, we're adjourned.
I had an exciting 4-hour Friday night going through all of this. Just 4 hours? Yeah.
So, our meeting's not adjourned yet, is it? We haven't officially adjourned the workshop?
Yeah. Yeah, I adjourned us. We don't need a motion in a workshop.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah.
And when do we